Alright, let's check out Dotmoov. So I'm going to be going through some of the move to earn coins today. Dotmoov is the third one down. I just made a video on Geno Pets. The idea is we're going to try and find a undervalued move to earn coin that should hopefully maybe potentially do a move like GMT did. And Dotmoov seems to have had a fairly brutal move to the upside already. I mean, since all this play to earn stuff came in, you know, they're up about 620%, and they even pumped up as high as 1003% in just 3 days. I mean, this was clearly a euphoric move. So I'm definitely a fan of Dotmoovs in the sense that it's got very, very good fundamentals. Now let's look and see what the chart's saying, see what their website is saying, and see if this could potentially be a good project. So looking at their website, it almost reminds me of a TikTok, but for play to move. As far as I can tell, you basically move in front of your camera, and you know their AI algorithm scans what you do, and you get paid basically to do the sports that you love. Now they've got football and dance coming. They've got more sports to soon be coming. They've got NFT collectibles. They've got a roadmap, and most interestingly, I found that Moonrock Capital, and I believe there was a Forbes investment as well, but nonetheless, Moonrock Capital has invested in this. So, you know, I don't know how many of you know Moonrock Capital, but you know they seem to make some pretty decent calls as an investment firm. So looking at the Dotmoovs market cap, is literally at 23 million. So I'm definitely a fan of this, and I like this as well because the circulating supply, half of it is already out, which, you know, might not seem like the most bullish thing ever, but a lot of these move to earns have like 10%. You know, for example, GMT has 10% of its supply listed. I think we just looked at Geno Pets, and Geno Pets has like 4% of its supply listed. I think it's quite a common thing for these move to earn games to have, you know, a low circulating supply, probably because they're going to drop the rest of the supply on people's heads as rewards for playing their game. But you know, nonetheless, it seems fairly decent. It hasn't picked up too much traction in any mainstream media at all. I did see something about Forbes investing, so I don't know. Oh, here we go. So, yeah, CoinMarketCap and Forbes is now in. I don't know why it doesn't specify that down here. But yeah, nonetheless, it's got a very interesting chart, and from a purely charting perspective, I honestly don't really like this chart, but based on how the move to earns are reacting within the past couple of weeks or so, I do think this move to earn is going to be a fad. I do think it's going to go away at some point, not forever. Like, I think it will just be replaced with new move to earns. However, I do think there is going to be a big bubble that we can definitely take advantage in these move to earn coins, and I think Move definitely would be one of the ones that could tear a lot of faces. So checking out moves, you can see the most telltale like double top sign to me is this. I mean, this just doesn't look too nice in my opinion, depending on where you want to draw it from the wicks or whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter at this point because we're all the way down here. The point of the matter is we double topped, and now we are coming down back into our EMA support bands. Now what's interesting about this is the last time we corrected, we had a very similar correction. You know, we had a big move down, dead cat bounce, and then we moved into the bottom of the EMA bands. Here you can see we had a big move down, dead cat bounce, and now we're moving into the EMA bands. So based on how long the previous move took, it took a couple of days to kind of chill around in these EMA bands. But you know what I really do like about this is it is putting in higher lows in the macro term, and unfortunately a lot of these move to earn coins, they don't have a full chart setup. I'll just show it to you. So if I type in move, literally I think the only thing that we've got is Gate.io, which was what we're looking at right now, and Huobi. And yeah, like I said, I mean, we just don't. A lot of these exchanges have only recently jumped on the move to earn hype train. So I guess these were listed on some like DEXs or smaller exchanges. But yeah, looking at this in the macro picture, you can also see, I mean, we are building up to our previous all-time high, which is very interesting. On the low side of things, you are constantly putting in higher lows. So if we are going to keep up with this trend, I would assume that your next higher low would probably come in somewhere into these EMA ribbons, and I don't actually think that we necessarily have to make it all the way back down here. Bear in mind, this may not look like too big of a move, But I mean, look at this. This was, you know, 1,400% in a couple of days on a move. And if we were predicting a move down to the bottom of these EMA ribbons, that could be like a 36% drop. So all in all, the most likely thing I think could probably happen for MOOV is to come into your long-term moving average and kind of bottom out, probably take a day or two and then explode. I think a correction over the next couple of days would do some good. I've talked about this in all of my altcoin videos recently, but the Fed has a meeting on, I believe it's between the 3rd and the 4th of May. So literally within the next 4 days, the Fed meeting should be wrapped up. I think that would have very profoundly good it'll be very, very good for Bitcoin, and it'll be good for all your meme coins, your altcoins. I think everything's going to start running after the Fed meeting is done. So assuming that we are having this correction and we are in a stage like this where we probably do just need to chop into the EMA ribbons for a little bit more of time, then I could imagine the move down to the high or the low end of the 3 cent region could be underway before we do have a big move to the upside. All in all, I have really not heard too much about Dotmoovs. I searched online and almost no one is talking about them. So, you know, this is obviously to be seen because the market cap is dirt cheap. It almost seems like a lot of people don't necessarily know these move to earn coins exist. And I think, you know, I think these are going to have a very, very nice bubble that we can definitely take advantage of. I mean, GMT has already proved that this thing, at least in my opinion, is not going anywhere anytime soon because we've moved into the top 50. A lot of these other move to earn coins, they're absolutely dirt cheap compared to the rest of them, and we will be checking out those. But yeah, moves, it has such a dirt cheap market cap. And like I said, if you look at a lot of these, a lot of the circulating supply isn't fully released. I mean, Yeti seems to have a decent, or Yetic seems to have a decent amount of its supply released. But yeah, moves is kind of in that middle range. I quite like it, but I'm not personally going to be investing at this moment in time. Now, what I'm waiting for is a move down into these EMA ribbons. I will update you on how this works out on the 3rd or the 4th. If we come down to my price target around the 3 cent region and have a huge rally, I would definitely get in a trade once we come down here, because I think the bounce back up to the top of this channel, you know, is almost a 2x return on a trade. So that could definitely be a very, very nice move. As you can see as well, the squeeze momentum indicator is turning dark green, indicative that the bulls are losing control in the short term. The last time this happened, you know, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days before we switched over into a bearish stance, and then it took like another week or so before we did flip over. I don't personally think it's going to take that long, because I think, like I said, the Fed meeting, when it's done on the 4th, I think the markets are going to have a profound reaction to that. So we'll keep an eye on MOOV. Once again, I said this with Gene Pets. It's personally not something that I'm looking to get into right now. Gene Pets has an interesting setup. It's the same with moves. We're kind of waiting for this move to be complete. I'd want to play from a position of strength. I'd like to see it put in another higher low, and then I'd like to see the bull step in. While we're back in these EMA ribbons, I'd like to see a push up. That is personally where I'd look to enter my Dotmoovs trade. But yeah, it's a very interesting setup. We're kind of hanging around that halfway region on the daily. If we come over to the weekly, you can see these have gone extremely euphoric. We are having a huge correction to the downside. So yeah, I imagine that we would be moving down in the same amount of speed that we did move up. However, higher low, in my opinion, is probably the most likely thing that's going to happen. I'll update you if and when we do make that higher low, because then I could definitely be very interested to enter a MOOV trade, considering how cheap the market cap is. That's all I've got for MOOV. It looks like this is going to be one of the winners, in my opinion, once these play to earns really start becoming a big bubble. That's all I've got for you today. Like I said at the start of the video, we are going to be going through the rest of these move to earn coins, or I'll be selective on which ones I cover, but we'll be checking out a decent amount of them. That's all I've got for moves. Hope you liked the video. As always, none of this is financial advice, just my opinion on the market, and as always, cowboy out. Peace.